Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mystical Awakenings with Deb and RJ.
Howdy, everybody.
Yeah, howdy. Right here on KGRA. Happy Memorial Weekend. We're almost there, like hours away. I just want to say everybody have a fantastic time this weekend and stay safe.
Yes, absolutely.
So tonight we're going to be talking with our
favorite peeps.
Yeah. We do a lot with them. They've been in this business, the spirituality, paranormal, everything that we do, they do.
The wacky world of us.
Yes. So these are our dear friends, Beth and Barry Gilmer. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Hi. So because they're with us and because it's like a week before, we're going to take this opportunity to talk about a very cool event that's coming up in a week.
That we are all putting on.
Yeah. The four of us are heading this up. We used to do an event. It's been about 5 years since it stopped, I think, but it was called The Flower of Life. And it was a similar event, but this one is Flower of Life plus. So, yeah.
It's called the Truth Seekers Retreat.
Yes.
Yes.
Truth Seekers Retreat. So,
because we're seeking the truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, some of the cool things about it we'll be talking about tonight, some of the activities we'll be doing. It's not specific to one thing.
Right.
This is not a Paracon. It's not a big fancy event. This is, we're going to be glamping all together at a cool resort.
What's that mean, glamping?
Glamping? Well, camping.
We're camping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll have flush toilets and showers and stoves and, all that stuff. And still have, beautiful view and bonfire and the other stuff. So, yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
It is. So what are some of the things that you guys are looking forward to?
Seeing you guys.
Yeah, true. That's
true. It's been a while.
The main thing. Yeah.
But that's true. I think I'm mostly looking forward to the connection to other spiritual, like-minded people.
Right.
I'd say that's number one for me.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
But as far as events, wow, that's hard to say because everything we're doing, I really enjoy.
Yeah, and we're going to get into what we're going to be doing because we're going to have, we're going to combine some UFO CE5 work. We're going to do some ghost hunting, and we're going to do some Bigfoot expeditions for a couple hours. Go out and see what we can find. And also, we're going to have speakers, and we're going to have readers, and we're going to have vendors. We're going to have a healing tent set up where we can do massages. We can do chakra balances, and we can do Reiki, right? And we're going to have speakers too, and we'll get into that too.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to the beautiful piece of property that we're going to have this event on.
Right.
Just really connecting with that and enjoying it and sharing it with people that haven't been there yet.
Right.
Yeah. We actually have friends up there right now who Tim and Beth Rian went up to Curtis to go camping this
No
week.
kidding.
So I talked to them last night and said, whatever you do before you leave that area, go visit the resort because you're going to fall in love. So
Good.
anybody who likes places like that and likes history.
So the resort
will love
is a family-owned resort. It's called the Birch Shores Resort. It is on the Big Manistique Lake, the biggest inland lake in the Upper Peninsula. The cool thing about it, this was built in 1947 by the owner's grandfather.
I'm going to put the banner up real quick.
Yeah, let's put it up real quick. And so the thing of it is that these cabins look like they looked when they built them in 1947. Okay, so they're all like a log cabin. But yeah, it's even though it has all the modern conveniences that you need as far as showers and stoves and refrigerators and microwaves and
Coffee pot.
yeah, coffee
Right,
pot,
coffee pot.
which is a percolator coffee pot now. They don't have the and there's no TVs in these things.
You won't have time for TV.
There's no internet, so if you have internet in the car, you can use that, or you can use your own internet. You know what you pay for, but that's the kind of the beauty of it, though. It's like going back and renting a cabin in 1950. You know,
Yeah.
so so it's family owned, and it was passed down to the owner's dad, who just recently passed away this year or last year, and now Jay Whiteley has it, and he's carrying on the tradition, and hopefully his kids carry it on too. So it's just a cool place. Once you go there, it's just very, it's just very relaxed, and you can't help but enjoy the water, man. The water is beautiful, and the beach down there, and he just put his docks out. He's got 3 long docks, and there's boats and everything else. So it's a beautiful fishing lake if you catch it right. So anyway, that's the kind of the place, but it's laid out where you can walk around, and a lot of the cabins are in a circle, so you can look out and see the circle, and they have a rec house where we're going to do a lot of our activities there. So, but let's get into this. So it opens at 12 p.m. on Friday,
May 30th.
May 30th.
Right.
Yep. And we're going to have a welcome reception, a meet and greet in the rec room. Everybody gets settled in there. Hopefully they come a little early. If not, that's fine. Yeah, I want to stress that it's not, you don't have to follow the schedule, but we have a schedule we have to follow ourselves. But you can do whatever you want.
Right.
Well,
Well, Beth and Barry came. No, I'm kidding.
No. I'm just saying. Beth and Barry and you and I are going to be.
Don't trust Barry to do whatever he wants. That's
Okay.
not. That will not work out very well.
Hi, Julie.
And at 1:30, we're going to walk around and check out the grounds, if anybody wants to do that.
Mhm.
And at 2:00, all the 4 of us are going to speak. And at 3:00, what are we talking about anyway? Us 4.
When
The
I
weather?
made the schedule, we talked about what we were going to talk about.
Did we?
We did. But, I just turned another year older a few days ago. I don't remember.
That's a surprise.
Right.
Well, we'll come up with something for sure.
Yeah.
We're never at
I
loss
think
for
we'll
words.
probably be talking about a few different things.
Yeah.
Because this event, that's what makes it so cool, is it's not like ghost hunting or Bigfoot expedition or, sky watching. It's
It's
all
everything.
of it.
Yeah, all that.
And the whole spiritual side as well.
Exactly.
And at 3:00, Miss Dina Stricker is going to speak, and she has not told us what she's speaking on, but I'm sure she knows. She's a good speaker. Let's put it that way.
Hi, Mary.
Hi,
Happy
Mary.
to see my niece here too.
Hi, Mary.
And wait a second. So Julie is here. This is Tim Miley's mom,
Oh,
who I adore. I just love her to pieces. And we're dying to meet. And they have a camper. Now I know you can't bring campers there,
But they're right
because
less than a
their
quarter mile away.
insurance.
There's a campground
Yeah, right
Yeah.
down the road, there's a campground. So
right on the water.
You can come. You
Right
have
on
a
the
week.
water.
I
week's
was
notice
tempted to
here.
bring ours, but
Yeah.
but I like the cabins. So
Yeah.
Me too.
So, and this whole time with all this going on, if we're going to have people doing readings and stuff like that, and you can schedule those anytime you want.
Right. Dana will be doing readings, and I believe I spoke with Jamila last night, and I believe she will also be doing readings. Beth and I might. I mean, it just really usually no. Depends on time.
Yeah. And
Just-
so
we squeeze it in. We squeeze it in.
yeah,
Right.
we can work all that out.
Yeah.
At 4:00, we're going to have just free time to visit vendors and maybe do readings and check out the healing tent and everything else. At 5:00, we're going to have a hot dog roast
Woohoo.
with some things that go along with it. Some beans and chips and whatever
Yeah.
we decide, right?
Right. And that's a community meal. That's kind of our thank you and greeting, and
Right.
let's
Welcome.
break bread together.
And so you don't have to cook or think about getting food when
Right.
you arrive.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm glad you brought that up because it's the little town of Curtis has this grocery store, but when you go up to these places, you want to make sure you get your groceries before you go there.
You might want to hit Gaylord or somewhere as you're going
Yeah.
north.
Yep. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
They have everything there. So at 6:30, she is going to do a past life regression in the recreational hall. If you've never had a past life regression, it's pretty amazing. And if you ever wanted to try one out, now you can. So that'll be cool.
Mhm.
They're always cool.
Well, and I find too, a lot of my clients have done them more than once. A past life regression, something that sometimes people do over and over, hitting different lifetimes and different lessons, things like that. So even if you have done it, you can do it again. We've both done multiple.
And don't be surprised
too.
if you had a lifetime in Egypt, because it seems like we all came from there at one time or another. So don't be surprised that happens.
Like an Egyptian.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then 8:00, we're going to have the bonfire with a CE5 meditation and sky gazing. Well, this is scheduled for Friday now, but you have to understand something. The weather, just the weather in Michigan, period, it changes by the second.
Mm-hmm.
But I have looked at 4 different scenarios in the last 4 days with the weather up there for that time. So we don't know. Now, if it happens to be a little cloudy, more cloudy that night and less on Saturday, we'll do it on Saturday. But we're going to play that by ear.
Right. So anybody that was looking at the schedule
Yeah.
on Facebook that's posted, it says that the CE5 work will be done Saturday night. But then RJ looked at the weather and said, oh, God, you've got to swap those because the sky is going to be too cloudy. So I swapped it. And then he said, oh, you've got to swap that back. Nah. Just leave it and we'll do what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So,
That's why it's called a rustic retreat. We're able to have that flexibility.
We'll change that. And I hope it happens Friday. Let's just manifest that to happen Friday.
All right.
And then after we do our meditation, it's just sky gazing and sitting around the fire and having a good time and watching the sky and talking about, things in our lives and stories in our life, whatever.
paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Get to
I'm
know
trying
each
to
other.
tell what's on RJ's hat. What is on your hat?
That's a bandana.
Oh, okay. I thought you had cards like you're a gambler or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it was ADD. It was distracting me.
You got to know when to hold them, man, when to fold them.
I was going to say, he's kind of looking like Kenny Rogers. Huh?
Yeah.
And he
That's
didn't
funny.
have this. So the next day, Saturday, why don't you go through that?
Okay, so Saturday, vendors open around 10 o'clock. Now there's times on here, but if we have a super late night and vendors aren't quite ready yet, it's not one of those events where we have to be right on the money.
You could knock on their cabin and say, "Where are you?" You know?
Yeah, right. I do want to go back for a second. I'm going to bring that banner up one more time because I
Okay.
want to show you guys. Now, this, what you're seeing here, that's a play set, and the big building is the rec hall. That's where a lot of our meeting stuff will start. But this is, the grass part is like a circle that is, the whole circle has cabins around it. So
You can see the lake behind it.
you can see the lake from there. It's a great area, and that's where vendors will be set up and lots will be going on. Now, other parts of the resort, there's a lot of trees and paths and little cabins here and
And
there,
a big sandy beach.
and a big sandy beach.
That's where the fire
with
pit.
boats and
Yeah.
but that circle area is really a cool area.
Yeah, the main hub pretty much.
Mhm. Yeah. So I just wanted people to know where that's at.
Hi, Ron, Diane, and Valerie.
Yeah.
You want you want to remind what?
Vendors, they will need to bring their own tables and chairs. Thank you. Val is like this amazing vendor coordinator that I love having on my right hand now. She reminds me of all this stuff. So yes, we don't provide tables and chairs. You have to bring your own stuff. If you want a canopy over your spot, you need to bring that.
And
If it rains, we'll be inside.
And you can bend right outside your cabin if you want to.
Right. That circle, whatever vendors are staying in cabins right there, they can just step outside their cabin and have their table right there if they want to.
But there also are cabins that are not in the circle. They're a little different part, but within walking distance. I mean, when I say walking distance, I mean you can see them. And so there's a couple down by the water, and there's a couple up top there on the hill. And there's some motel units right on the beach. And I wanted to get into that because I guess there is 4 3-bedroom cabins left and 4 motel units.
Wow.
So, folks, if you have 4 people in a 3-bedroom cabin, it's $125 a night. That's $63 for the whole weekend for you. A piece. So,
Yeah, the prices are so
can't beat that.
reasonable.
I mean, you're getting a cabin for 31. I think it's 31.25 a night if you have 4 people. Now they sleep 6. So if you want to,
Well, some do.
yeah, some do. Well, the 3 bedrooms, I think, do most of them do. But anyway, if you split that in 6, my God, you're going to be down to about $20 a night.
Yeah.
$40.
Just know there are no like king bed suites or anything like that. These are rustic cabins. So you're going to get like a full or double bed or twin beds.
Twin beds, yeah.
Yeah. So.
But when we
Just
say
be
rustic,
prepared.
we just mean that it's not a plush modern. What am I trying to say? What's a famous
Luxury
chain?
hotel.
A luxury hotel.
Not a Hilton.
Yeah, Hilton. It's not a Hilton. Thank you, Barry. But you have your kitchens, you have your bathrooms, your shower,
And it's super cool. It's super
it is.
It's not a Hilton, but it's
Nostalgic.
better.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
nostalgic and they're comfortable and you have everything you need and
Most
it
people
just
fall in
takes-
love with it.
especially people our age, it's going to take you back in time a little bit.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And you don't even miss TV or internet or anything. I
No.
don't. We never do when we go.
Yeah, we're
there.
not going to let you do that.
Good
Uh,
question, Val. Normally, no, you don't have to bring your own.
If you like
bedding.
your own pillow,
No, you don't have to bring your own bedding. No,
Yeah.
they've got
Bedding,
bed in there,
towels,
and since you're only staying 2
dishes.
nights, you won't need new bedding,
Right.
and
Yeah.
unless you get sick or something. But
And they do have laundry facilities there, not that people use, I don't think. I don't know. I've never tried. I don't want to do laundry when I'm there.
No, they got laundry for their sheets and everything and their pillows. But yeah, and they have extra blankets and stuff in the closets in the bedroom and pillows. So now if you sleep with a fan, I think they may have one fan in there, but you might want to bring your own fan. So
I'm bringing Barry. He's my only fan. Not.
he's gonna clap for you and keep it cool there.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so back to Saturday, vendors around 10 o'clock. And then around 10:30, I'll be doing a singing bowl meditation. Just to get the vibrations up. And what a great way to start a day, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Absolutely.
yeah. At 11:15, we'll be talking on, and everything that we have down nothing is set in stone. But Beth and I will be talking on neurodivergence and spiritual mental health because we feel it's very important. And
we're experts.
Yeah, you too, Wes.
Life.
We're not experts, but we.
Well, I mean, experts from life.
Yeah, right.
Living it.
We're experienced.
Yeah.
How's
We're
that?
experiencers.
Yeah, experiencers for sure.
I can see Jimi Hendrix playing in the background. Are you experienced?
And then, so then Beth and I will speak, and we'll all just talk. This isn't, again, it's not a Paracon. It's not a big fancy event. This is more, let's connect.
So this is when Barry and I sneak off and go fishing?
Well, we figured you would be. So it's like, okay, what can Beth and I do to, because, the guys are too close to water. There's boats.
There's got to be a casino up there. Come on.
Well, there's one about.
He knows.
There's one about 45 minutes away. Yeah, actually closer than that. You can go to St. Ignace, or you can go to Manistique.
I think we're going to be a little bit too busy.
Right.
I think so too. Okay. Yes. You reminded me. This is ADHD. This is a neurodivergent thing right here. I'm going back to Friday. If Dana is listening and has an idea of what you're going to speak on, throw it up there so we can get something posted.
Oh.
Let people know. That was my little alien. Oh. Okay, so back to Saturday. So we will be talking, then we'll have a little break. And then a big treat is two Upers themselves, two of our great friends. And I used to call them the Kings of Con, but, that didn't sound so good. Tim Ellis and Brad Blair will be speaking. And Brad gave me some ideas yesterday or the day before on what they were speaking on. It sounds really cool.
Yeah, I think we're talking about cryptids and stuff, right? Cryptids and everything, and the stuff in the UP.
Some cool stuff in the UP. Yeah. And, that's where we'll be, is the UP. So. Okay, and then at 1:30, after Tim and Brad, then everybody's going to meet up with RJ and Barry and discuss the whole Bigfoot expedition that will be taking place.
So let me talk about that a little bit.
Okay, you talk about that.
All right, so Barry and I were going to take some people out. We're going to have to drive in the car and go. Not too far. I don't think any more than 25 minutes we have to drive. Not even that, but so anyway, we're going to have to carpool. So when we get together and talk, we're going to have people raise their hands who can drive, because we're limited in how many cars we can get on these two tracks. And if there's a lot of people going, we may have to split it up. We got one place we're going to now. We may have to split it up and go two different places. I don't know. We'll play that by ear. That place that we went to a couple of years ago, Barry, and and the other place that Jay where he does his hunting. But so we'll figure that out when we get there, and we're gonna leave and spend a couple hours out there, and we're going to do Somebody wants to practice some calls. We're going to look for tracks. We're going to look for tree structures. We're going to maybe do some tree knocks, and hopefully see a Bigfoot. But we're not responsible if one carries you away. Okay. So if that happens, we'll be thinking about you. So, but we're going to do that. It's going to give people a chance to get out and check it out and do it. Be able to do it if you haven't ever done it before. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and if you haven't done it before, it's a nice way to get a little taste of what it entails and what it's like, and see if that's even something that really does interest you.
Right. Like I said, that's probably going to be the little roughest thing we have to do, but it's not that rough to walk through these areas. There's not that bad at all. But you're going to be walking in semi-woods and then maybe some thick woods and maybe some openings. So just be prepared. If you don't want to go, that's fine. There'll be vendors and readings and all that going on at the event.
So make
or
sure
if you
you
want to
have
do it limited. They don't have to stay out the whole time, right? They could go back to the vehicle.
Right, they could. Yeah, they could go back.
Or they could only go so far if they felt like.
Right.
They could only do that.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll keep in contact. We've got some walkie-talkies. We'll keep in contact. Say we're going to let a holler out, let a bang out, let a knock out, and so everybody will be able to know when that's going to happen. So, but just looking for signs and looking for things. And anything you want to add to that, Barry?
No, you covered just about all of it there. Like I say, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
You can keep your eye out for fairies while you're out there.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
We just don't.
Barry's good at seeing the fairies.
Barry, we can look for UFOs and everything else while we're out there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep, and that's common. It happens.
It's going to be in the daytime, but sightings are seen during the day too. So.
Yep. The whole paranormal thing, you have to do it in the dark. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I'd
That's
rather see the Bigfoot coming instead of sneaking up on me in the dark.
Right.
So
yeah. So remember to bring good shoes that you can walk in the woods in.
Right.
Some repellent. I know ticks are bad. Even here, ticks are bad.
yeah, I don't know if they're bad if they're not. I should ask Jay, but
they probably are.
Yeah.
Bring your cell phone so you have a camera. You can bring a recorder. What's the plaster of Paris?
Yeah. Plaster of Paris and
Yeah.
water to do some tracks. And I learned my lesson the first time I did when I made it way too thin.
Yeah.
And if you want to leave a offering for Bigfoot, you could bring apples, peanut butter,
Yep.
whatever you feel would be an offering.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea to stuff a couple little baggies in your pockets if you're going to be, I don't think people will be wandering off on their own, but if you happen to find something, you want to have a way to contain it.
Like Bigfoot poop.
Like hair or
And
hair
back in the day, I always had a baggie in my pocket, but
Like a nickel
back
baggie.
in the day, just last year.
So yeah,
That's not a bad idea there.
so bring those things too. And
I mean,
then
even like if you really want to get into it, tweezers, so you're not contaminating it if you get hair off the
Exactly.
tree,
Yeah.
or
Or a rubber glove, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Make yourself a little bag. There's Dana. Hi, Dana.
hey, Dana.
So,
We were talking about you, Dana.
yeah, if you
Here's
know what
Bernie.
you're speaking on, Dana's a lot like me. That's why we get along so well. She kind of goes on whatever moves her at the moment when it comes to speaking. So, but if you have an idea of what you're speaking on, just type it in, Dana, so we can let people know. Because we said Dana's speaking, we don't know what the hell she's speaking about. Okay. So then, you guys will all meet up for the Bigfoot expedition at about 1:30 and leave right around 2:00.
I was thinking that we'll count 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and Barry can take the ones. I'll take the twos and go our directions and check it out. Now,
Good one, Dana.
what?
I'll be talking about weirdness.
Okay. The
Hey, Karen.
on this property there is a cabin.
I'll put the banner back up.
People used to live there, friends of
There it is, Karen.
the owner, and they lived off the grid there, but they're still alive. Well, one of them's still alive, the lady, and she does not want any pictures taken of the cabin. Okay, that's the one request, and we'll go over that before we get out there. That we got to honor her wishes. She was kind enough to let us go to the property, and it's amazing. When I was there a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't believe how far back this place was, and they lived off the grid, and they had to come to the road, in the wintertime to get supplies. It was amazing. I guess the road wasn't always there, so they had to snowshoe it up there and get things dropped off. And but the way they lived was amazing. So
Bill?
Then come this weekend, next weekend, Bill. We expect to see you there.
yeah, cousin lives in Curtis. Okay.
It's good
Well,
to see you.
So yeah, Dana says that sounds right up her alley. Yeah, Dana, this is something. I mean, I'll get some details and tell you about it. What they did to live, but it's not that they didn't have money and didn't want it. They couldn't live different way. They were from New York, I believe. They were both authors and writers. They wanted to live off the grid, and when I say off the grid, I mean they lived off the grid. So
Sounding better and better every day.
yeah, and they built the cabin with the wood that was there on the property, and it kind of looks like a modern house a little bit, and they had a big old wood burner in it and everything else. So and an outhouse and things like that, but they just don't want pictures taken of the cabin, and we're going to honor those wishes. So
Right.
for whatever reason, that's their business, not ours.
Yep. Okay, so everybody leaves for the Bigfoot expedition, except those who don't want to go.
Right.
Beth and I will stay behind. We'll be doing a healing circle right around 2:30. From that healing circle, we may do some meditation work. We may do, who knows?
Who knows?
We might all sit in a circle and just give messages back and forth.
Or you guys could dance too, you could dance, just dance around.
Yeah, we could.
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah. We can dance around the fire. Yeah. So when you come back from the Bigfoot expedition, Dana's going to be staying behind too. So perfect, Dana. You can dance around the fire naked with us.
Yeah.
Film at 11.
Film at 11.
Film at 11.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yep.
Jenny said.
So
so what did you want a bio on, Jenny? Us?
Probably for Dana.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Jenny writes Dana's bio and stuff for her.
Okay.
She's very talented. I think we've got one out. I don't know. Jenny, you might know that better than I do.
But who doesn't know that Dana is a medium, intuitive medical medium, or psychic, whatever you want to call it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm talking. Now I'm talking your lingo. Naked fire dance. Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yep, there we go. No, we won't make anyone do that. And I wouldn't subject anyone to me.
Barry and I might just send everybody off on their own and just stay, right?
Yeah.
Right. So right around 5 o'clock or so, you guys will be returning from your Bigfoot expedition. Right around there. If later, then that's fine too. But right around 5 o'clock, we will be putting food out and we will do a potluck dinner. That way, Friday and Saturday, we're all having a meal together. I can say Friday, if you don't like hot dogs, feel free to eat what you want. Every cabin has its own stove and
Right.
microwave and all that. So we'll, do whatever.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Vegan, bring not dogs with you.
Yeah, bring the veggie hot dogs, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So-
We're super easy. So for potluck, I know that we are going to do like a pasta dish, like a manicotti type thing, probably some garlic bread, and then everybody can bring something. So that keeps it real easy. We'll have plenty of food, plenty of, bring your own drinks. Absolutely bring your own drinks. We're not providing any of that.
We might have some water. I don't know if it's. Do we have?
Well, we'll probably have some water or
Yeah,
something.
water, yeah.
But I mean, if they want to, rum and Coke,
Yeah,
bring it, because that we don't.
No.
Val's bringing a tray of meatballs. Ooh, yum, yum, yum. And I think Wanda's bringing the homemade cookies.
just wanted to, who's bringing the steak and lobster? That's all.
That sounds good. So everybody can, I don't know about, have we had people post what they're bringing? I thought we did. Don't know.
I haven't seen that. I think that Valerie, was it Val that talked about us doing that on the page?
Yeah.
I think you're right. Are thinking about me, Deb.
So
yes.
we still have over a week. So if anybody would like to post what they think they're bringing, that would be helpful. So that we don't have a lot of the same dishes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Val did post it. There were very few responses last I knew. It would be good if, So on Facebook, Val, could you post the link? Are you on Facebook right now? No, you're on YouTube. It's not a big deal. But if anybody's on that page, post what you're bringing. So that's going to be, a nice time. We'll just all eat together and talk about how the Bigfoot thing went and all of that. So just gathering, uniting.
Trust me, we'll have enough food there so everybody can munch and have something. And we'll, if we don't have to, if we can leave it out for a while, people can just munch when they want to. So.
Hi, Susan. Dana, I think that sounds good. Taco dip and chips. Yum.
Oh, yeah. The taco anything for this girl?
Yep.
Yeah, you're in.
You're in.
Yes. Sounds wonderful.
And it sounds like we could bring it out later if there's any left for the fire too. That sounds like a perfect thing.
Miss you, Susan. Love you, girl.
Susan Grill. We got a grill and a brill.
Drive up to Michigan. Come see us. And it's way up. Like up there. So
That's pretty much right smack in a little bit the east, but smack in the middle of the UP there.
Yeah.
You can't miss that lake. If you look at the map,
I know,
you'll see the big lakes there.
they drive to the Sioux, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit further. Anyways.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
So as RJ said, we'll be doing the past life regression Friday night. And then Saturday night after dinner, we will meet in the rec room again, and we will do a future life progression. I don't know yet what one of us will do that.
But that all started with Mr. Gilmer years back. He had brought that up, and we never thought about it until he mentioned it. And we had some pretty cool results.
Yeah, it's quite amazing because, the soul is, time doesn't exist. So we can see
Past, present, future is
all
not.
of it. Mm-hmm. So it's really a cool thing. So we'll do that around 8:00 or no, 6:30. Deb can't read. See, Val talked about rum. See what happens? And then at 8:00, we will be doing Ghost hunting. Hi, Tom. Good to see you. Thank you.
Hey, Tom.
You know,
Tom.
I totally get that, my friend. I have been on the phone with Andrea for hours at a time before.
Yeah.
It's always wonderful. Always.
So
with the ghost hunt, we're asking everyone to kind of do the same thing as with Bigfoot. Bring what you think you would want to use. The four of us have been doing paranormal work together for as many years as we've known one another. And we just kind of have the same boring equipment. We're not real big on
I like the recorder
all the
myself.
fancy stuff.
Deb and I use ourselves pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being mediums.
We're a conduit. We're a tool.
Yeah.
You're cool, all right.
Hey, Susan, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, my kind of girl. Bourbon.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
Woo, me and Bourbon don't get along.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, bourbon's like a little bit more than whiskey for me.
I like Canadian whiskey.
And, you know, I'm part Native American. So Barry can tell you what whiskey and natives are like.
Firewater.
I used to always say whiskey makes me frisky. I'm not going to talk about bourbon.
I accidentally got some whiskey a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, I guess I like bourbon. I didn't realize there was that big of a difference.
There's a big
There
difference
is.
in taste.
There's
I
a big
actually
difference.
like both. It depends on the mood I'm in.
Yeah.
But I'm cautious.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to need to be cautious, probably.
So getting back to the ghost hunting, you know,
Yeah.
the whole property, you can walk around and do the ghost hunt outside, and we've
Yeah.
got things out there.
There's enough activity
And
there.
I want to bring this up again. We were there doing some investigating, and we had a ghost box on, I think, and we mentioned our name and my name, and they said, "Yeah, he's old." So there's spirit there
Yeah, you
talking.
guys remember that?
Yeah,
He's
we
old.
sure do.
Absolutely.
It's hilarious.
I'll never forget it. I want to find that spirit.
Susan, you and I are going to have to get together. I love old fashions and Manhattans.
You're gonna be Dana.
Back to the alcohol again.
I'm glad you're going to be filming. I want people to film. I want people to take pictures and film, and so we can post it up.
I think she's talking about the bourbon.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
it's gonna be
bring the
filming.
dead bill. Whatever. Is
Well,
that what
okay.
it is? Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that, Dana. Bring that. The
Yeah.
bill. We want to see that.
Yeah.
So, and Dana, if you can take a group with you too, because I know you've done this many times. So,
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
yeah.
It
So,
will
the ghost hunting, we know, the four of us know there is not a cabin on that property or property on that property that we didn't have some sort of activity
Mm-hmm.
of some sort.
Yeah, there were 2 deaths in one cabin, and I won't tell the number out because I know who's staying in it.
Do you?
Yeah. She's from Muskegon. Or not Muskegon, Manistee.
Oh,
Friend of yours, especially
okay.
friend of ours.
Okay.
Starts with a C. So,
Okay.
and she knows it's haunted too. She goes, I got the haunted one. No, but they're all haunted, yeah.
Yeah, it's so spirited there, isn't it?
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
It really is. It's there's something very ancient in that land.
Yeah.
Good ancient, spiritual ancient, but you can just feel like the moment you get there, you'll have no doubt the feelings and a connection you're going to feel. And as you start doing the investigation, you're going to feel more and more connected. So, yeah.
And we had a Native American connection there too that felt like it was really old and it was in the past. And like people were coming into the lake and they were trading and stuff like that. So
yeah, and you might get some shipwreck energy. Who knows?
Because we're not that far from
the big
Michigan
lake.
or Lake Superior. So
No, we're probably 5 miles from there,
Yeah.
if that. But And again, Beth was a child up there. She was 3 years old, and when her parents took her there, and she was so excited, she ran up the dock and she fell in, and she was drowning. And she told us about that experience. Maybe you can tell it when you get up there.
Mm-hmm.
But a big hand came in the water and pulled her up, and we verified that with Jay and his family. It was one of his family members, uncle or something like that, right?
Yep, he actually
Well, I
remembers.
owe my life to.
And Beth was only three years old.
Right.
And the interesting thing is,
She acts like she's 2 a lot of times. Ha ha.
she's gonna pop you.
I just beat her to it. She's going to say that about me. So.
You never went back there after that incident until
we ended up there, and
Right.
I didn't know until I saw the cabins and everything. All the memories came flooding back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite the experience, but full circle. I hope it doesn't mean like I'm going to drown there now, but honestly, it wasn't. I don't have like trauma about it, because during it I saw golden light and I was at peace, and so it was more of a believe it or not, it was more of a positive experience than a negative one. So
right.
I only feel very good things about the whole property, the water. I became a lifeguard and everything else, so I was never afraid of water.
And that's probably why, right?
Yeah. Didn't scare me.
Yeah. So the spirits that are there, though, I mean, we've all had very good experiences. Some have been quite funny with, he's old and things like, what was it? Show Deb the Speedo or something, and I hate Speedos. So, they have a sense of humor. They like to kid around. We've never felt anything other than, connections and welcome. And
Now, wasn't there a connection, because he was kind of a friend of your family's, the guy that Jimmy Hoffa, yeah.
Yes, he was a good friend of my grandfather's. They worked together. They traveled together. He was at our house for dinner. We were at his house for dinner. And he and my grandfather, who both, were union people, did a lot of things together. And one of the places they traveled was the UP and that area. And come to find out, through some mediumship things, and I think when Beth did the Estes session, I think something came through that clicked it with me that my grandfather and Jimmy Hoffa were definitely there.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy how we both have life connections to this place.
I think we've only figured out that Barry's the only one. We're going to have to figure out the mystery of how he's connected yet. It's probably Native American. But we
probably, that's what I'm thinking.
Many reports of like hearing drumming and things like that, chanting.
Now, if anybody gets somebody coming through on their equipment named Larry, let me know, because that's Larry and I were fishing buddies, and we went up there for like 8 years in a row. And he passed away, but we enjoyed that place and did very well fishing there and had lots of fun. We looked forward to it every year. So if anybody gets Larry on their equipment, let me know. Are there recorders?
And Deb reminded me, talking about the Estes session, we could do one of those also, but also if there's experiments, something different you guys want to try, please bring whatever you need to do that experiment, and or tell us that you'd like to try it, because we are always open for trying something new.
Right.
Yeah, Susan and what was that? I think it was Jenny.
Thumbs up to Union.
Barry and I were both union stewards, and Barry's a union steward right now, I believe.
Union president.
President, yeah, there you go. You're president.
Cool.
So I had 4 terms in the UAW union, so
yeah,
we're familiar with the union.
Needless to say, Grandpa and Jimmy Hoffa were Teamsters union.
So that could bring up something. If we have all these union people there, who knows what that could bring in?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe he'll let us know where he's buried.
Yeah. And, you know, like I said, they were built in 47. So a lot of people have been going up there for a long
Right.
time. And people that love that place that is past, they probably visit that place once in a while because it's that kind of a place you just want to go back to.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things that could happen there.
Oh, and then I wanted to also mention our host. He is amazing. His family's amazing. You're going to
Jay.
fall in love with him, Jay, and his family and their dog
Yes. They're
and their
wonderful
kids.
people. Yes.
They're
yes,
amazing
yes.
people. They do everything from tapping the trees for maple to making their own honey.
See, Bill, you got to be there.
People.
So,
Bill, come on up, Bill.
I want to warn you guys,
We're down to like 4 minutes,
Yeah,
3 minutes.
but Birch, the son, he is now like 6'1".
No kidding.
No way.
He really sprouted up
The
then.
little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna freak out. I mean, he's just a
Wow.
tall kid now,
Mhm.
taller than Jay.
Right.
Wow.
So, and
Even
he's
their dog is tall.
yeah, well, yeah, it's a Great Dane. It's a Great Dane, so it's very tall. Rudy,
Yeah.
yeah, Rudy,
Yep, Rudy.
It's like seeing a horse run through.
and Rudy just loves to be just loved and hugged and scratched, and a very friendly dog. So,
And the daughter will walk your dog if you want, if you pay
Yeah.
her a little something and give it treats if you bring the treats.
and she's growing like a weed too. So,
And there's a gift store there if you want to get a shirt.
Mhm.
Or
yeah, he sells
sweatshirt or
honey.
anything.
He sells honey. Makes his own honey. Makes his own syrup.
Right.
And other things like you said, clothes, Beth. But yeah, so he's going to have his store open, so you can buy Birch Run or not Birch Run, Birch Resort cabins,
Birch Shores.
shirts or
Mhm.
hoodies, whatever you want. So
And they have some cool Bigfoot ones, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say that not only is there a lot of ghostly activity on the grounds, there are sightings, Bigfoot sightings in that area,
Mhm.
big time.
oh yeah,
And
yeah.
the sky.
Oh my God! Well, I've been up there with you
Always
guys. The
active.
sky is active all the time up there. I want to say that.
Yeah.
The county that has had most sightings in Michigan is 3 miles to the west of us. We're on that borderline, so that's the county that had the most sightings.
Mhm. So be prepared when we do CE5 work. I'm pretty confident that
I have seen
There will
UFOs.
be
up
some-
there.
I'm going to say I was thinking today about the number, and I'm going to say I'm probably 98% sure that we are going to. Somebody will see something.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I mean, I unless we get a real cloudy night or something,
Weather
and
projections.
even that, sometimes if you look through the clouds, you'll
Mhm.
see. Things,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're partly cloudy and 76 on Friday and 70 on Saturday. Nana.
It's going to be a
It's gonna
beautiful
be nice.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Partly
We're gonna like
but
it.
that's okay. Yeah, even we've done CE5 work when it's very cloudy, and you still oftentimes see something.
I think Booker's wants to go too.
Yeah.
So, well, we're down to
we're
crunch
down to
time
out
here.
of time. So thank you, Beth and Barry.
This
Can't
was
wait till
fun.
next
you.
week.
We hope to see you all
Yes.
that weekend.
there's still cabins available. So get on the phone and call Birch Shore Resort.
Yes. Look us up on Facebook.
Cheap,
Truth Seekers
it's-
Retreat
It's
Weekend.
inexpensive.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Love you all. Everybody have a fantastic night, fantastic week. Until we meet again, may all of your
Bye.
awakenings be mystical.
Bye bye, everybody.
Blessings.